Hello, Florida and the world. This is Joe Mullins of the Live Workshop Play Show. Welcome to the show this weekend. We're very excited to be here and very excited that you are taking the time to listen to our show. Want to thank our sponsors, Women in Business, and we also want to thank you for taking that time to be able to listen to this show and hear us. Today, I've got a very special show. We're going to step away from the political part. So much political stuff, so much stress. It's a beautiful time of the year to celebrate. We got Christmas coming up real soon, and we have got a lot of fun college and football games ahead of us. A lot of sports. America's going to see the FIFA World Cup coming in. It's going to be exciting. We're going to see a lot of playoff games happen in the next few weeks. We're going to see a lot of basketball, a lot of uh, other events, American soccer, exhibition games. And one of the top stadiums that we're going to see it in is Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. And with me today, I've got two very special guests. I've got Koreena Atkins. Koreena, welcome to the show today.
Hey.
And I also have Freddie Hamilton. Freddie, welcome to the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Freddie's got this shirt on that looks like it looks like three triangles. I don't know. It looks like something you'd see on a spaceship. I don't understand what it is. Now, I will say this. I see more of that in the state of Florida than I do some of our own teams. You guys have the Pittsburgh Steelers have a huge fan base.
We're everywhere.
It's massive. Do you guys travel a lot?
Sure do.
I know you do, because every time we have a home game, you guys show up. We end up not having seats to sit in the game because y'all buy them all. It's unbelievable watching it, especially with the Falcons. But Koreena, you're a very special fan. You don't just go to a few games here and there. You go to all of the games. You go to the away games. You go to the home games. You go to the games after the games. You go to the parties, training camp. I see you everywhere. And you got the most beautiful smile on your face. You're happy. You see it. How in the world, I've got to ask you this, and Freddie, you got to ask this question too. How does she have that smile on her face after the Falcons season this year?
She just loves football.
What a great year it's been. A lot of people have looked up. We've really not seen any team dominate here. We've not seen a dominant team. Some of the dominant teams have fallen apart, and like the Chiefs, it's going to be so nice to have a Super Bowl and a playoffs without the Chiefs for the first time in a long time. Cowboys, they're still carrying their trend. Again, someone a few years ago said, we've got to solve the problem of what happened in Tampa, the Tampa Bay Bucks playing in their own stadium for the Super Bowl. And one of the guys stood up and said, I know how to solve that problem. We'll hold the Super Bowl at Dallas's stadium every year, and we'll never have to worry about the home team having home field advantage again. I remember hearing that, and I died laughing. I said, I think that's true. But they've done some crazy things. But Atlanta has had a very interesting season. Koreena, tell me a little bit about the season in the beginning and what you expected, and kind of why do you do so much of this?
I am what you call a super fan. It doesn't matter the outcome, the score. Last year was about Let's Run the South, so I was excited about that with Coach Raheem. We've had obstacles, yes. We had injuries. Even on the training camp, it was like, yes, new season. We got a good defense, players. They seem united, and it just hasn't been our season. So if you're a diehard fan like me, you're going to stick with them through it all. I say win or lose, cuts, bruises. I've cried, I've laughed, I've screamed at the field. When I go to the games, I always sit behind the Falcons because I like the experience. I'm one of the ones who's like, if I'm going to the games, I'm going to sit behind my team. So I can see the coach, security, they all know me. They don't know my name. They call me Smiley. But it's just our season to have a bad season. And we got to, as a fan, a super fan, we just got to stick behind them and let them know we still support them.
Well, there's no way someone could make the mistake and call you a fair weathered fan. You are not that. You go to all of them. I've seen you go to the games, and I've seen you stand out in the rain. I do know I go in with you to the stadium, and the stadium chant's unbelievable. What is the chant? Right when you come in, it's rise up. What is it?
We're saying we ready.
We're ready.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm with the Dirty Bird's Nest as a season ticket holder that sits in that corner section 134. So we have our tailgates, we march in, and we have a lot of fun. So we jump, cheer, chant, and our job, as you would say, is to keep the stadium hyped at all times, even when we're losing. and it can be hard at times, but you have to keep your energy. A lot of the players, they'll say, "Hey, we look forward to y'all jump in and cheering." And when we come down the hall, you can see other people like, "Hey, there she go," or um, "Man, they're chanting, we ready." And there's Pastor Troy and Big Tigger, and we're just having a good time. And when we first start off with the Falcons, we're doing great, and then that second half is like, "Geez, let's just keep it going." So I still smile and chant, but in my head, I'm like, "Y'all, come on, let's go. Let's have a winning season. Let's just something, especially for the fans of Atlanta. It's been a long time." But me, I'm still there.
What are your thoughts? A lot of people say Mercedes-Benz Dome is one of the most amazing stadiums. Now, both of y'all have been in the stadium. Why do you think that is that so many people say Mercedes-Benz is the world's greatest stadium? What is it like going into Mercedes?
It is definitely an experience. I will tell you that. From outside walking in, whatever floor you're on, you're gonna see something about the Falcons, pictures. Um, they take a lot of time to put the fan base in there. I'm actually on the wall by the locker, so if you walk by, you'll see my pictures, me with my pom poms waving. Um, the prices, Arthur Blanks made it where you can feed a family. If you have $20, you can get some popcorn, candy, a hot dog, and some nachos, and a drink in the big cup at that, all under $20.
Well, a lot of people don't understand. They can go by the locker rooms. They can see the players come out. You've got a club section that's lower than it is in the normal stadiums where it's
Yes.
higher. We're here in Tampa, and certainly we're not here for this experience in the stadium in Tampa. Freddie, you've been to a few stadiums. Did you come to Tampa for the stadium? No. Yeah, you come down here. Now, Pittsburgh fans, they've got an amazing stadium, but it's not a dome. And that's what shocks me. Have you been to the games in Pittsburgh?
I have.
How do you sit out there? Koreena, I want to ask him this. How do you sit out there in that cold on that bench and you're comfortable and enjoying it? There is nothing I want to see that bad.
Fortunately, when we went, it was a preseason game, so that was a whole different experience. But I thought the same thing you did, like wondering in the wintertime, I don't know if I'd want to be out there. That's a true fan there.
But you have if you travel like I travel, there's a science to it. There's a lot of people like, "Oh, do you have clothes on?" You have to have layers. I've learned about thermals and you know foot gloves, and you can put stuff in your shirts. I mean, it's a process. Like when I go, if you look at my luggage, sometimes I have two or three. It's because wherever I'm going, you got to make sure you have everything you need. So you might have certain things to pack up underneath, and it's a process.
We're talking about Atlanta and the stadium and how special it is, and I certainly think the Rise Up Club, the tour club, makes the road games great, but the club that the Falcons Club, what was the name of that again?
That's
The Dirty Bird's
Nest.
Nest. I was warned by one of the guys, Warren Parr, who is with the Falcons. He said, "Man, you don't want to go over to that Dirty Bird's Nest. It's crazy over there. They're wild as they can be." And they've really accepted it and embraced it. The team has. And it's now become this big parade coming into the stadium. "We are ready." And the chanting and the drums and the music and the bird. Freddie the Bird. Freddie, that's not you. They didn't name that bird after you,
No,
did
no.
they? You see all this energy come in, and the fans really make the experience amazing. You guys make that stadium amazing. And certainly when the game is, you see a lot of stadiums you go in when the games are not close, you see the fans pouring out. That Dirty Bird's Nest does not clear out till the game's over. Do they make y'all sign something saying you can't leave?
No, but the rule is we do not leave until that clock says 0.00.
That's more of a commitment you guys have.
Yes. Oh no, some might leave, but the
But,
thing
but a
is,
commitment, it's not
yes,
a mandatory thing. Hey, if you sit
no,
in these seats, you got to strap yourself
no,
in and you can't leave. So
no.
that is dedicated fans in that area.
Trust me. After the last game, yes, I was sitting there and
Pretty brutal. Yeah.
it was very
I was
brutal.
watching it and I just sat there and went, "Oh my God, Seattle." Yeah, it was bad. So many decisions, but we're not here to talk about the administration. They'll figure that out. They'll get it right. I
They
think
will.
we'll see the Falcons back in there again. What I want to talk about more is the experience and what this season's up and downs have been, for you guys. And I'd like each of you to answer it. What have been some of the high points of the season for you as a fan that's been on the road and been at home? And what are some of the low points? Freddie, what have you seen so far?
I've enjoyed the experience of going to the different stadiums. The atmospheres, each team's unique little chant, how they try to get the crowd into it. I've enjoyed that. And as you said earlier, sometimes trying to find your way around these stadiums is pretty unique too.
They're not all as easy as Mercedes-Benz.
Not at all.
You go into SoFi and you're like, you hit this like a maze. You got
Mhm.
stop and people back up. So it is crazy. We first had, you're talking about the road. We first had Minnesota. Minnesota was an amazing event. They had an amazing party. Oh my God, what a great party. And then we come out and win a game we shouldn't have won. Our first home game, we lost to the Bucks. Then we go and play Minnesota and beat them, and we're all optimistic that we're going to have a great season again. And then we go and play. But Minnesota, what was special to you about Minnesota? Minnesota was pretty cool. City.
Well, first, so I had payback this year. I don't think everybody understands. So I had payback. I traveled with the Rise Up Tour fan club. So last year we lost to Minnesota, and I was the fan that was on TV, Fox News, where I had my hands crossed and they were doing the skull chant and they were picking at me. So it went viral all over social media, in the news. They was like, oh my goodness, look at that poor Falcon fan. She's, on the Viking side, getting bullied. Yeah, getting bullied basically. Cause had my arms crossed and I was upset. I'm not upset, but I was having fun with the fan base there. But believe it or not, we were sitting on the Falcon side, right behind the Falcons row 2 at that time. And so we lost. It was, this poor female, she's at the game and she's getting, the chant. So we had fun because we did the Paisley Park tour and everything. But the revenge was this year. Went back, same
we
section.
Shocked them. They were totally blown away.
Shocked them.
Yeah.
Seeing was it ESPN called a photo of me with my sign saying "Rise Up," and I was like, yes. So I had last year's picture and then this year's picture, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, what a difference. But got to travel, and that's the thing, going to the Rise Up Tour fan club, we don't just go to the game. So usually we have a lot of different things they set up for us, travel, like did Paisley Park tour, the VIP experience. You get to do a lot of experience the culture of each city or state that has an offer. And that's the fun thing about traveling with the group, because you meet people all over and then we come to one state and we hang out and become friends. And I believe I met you in Minnesota.
You did.
Yeah,
we
Minnesota.
did. We met in Minnesota. It's so cool because so many people want to criticize the Falcons and the organization and call for removal. Oh, Arthur Blank's this or they're that. And they don't realize some of these teams, the Falcons road program is one of the most amazing programs in the NFL. You're able to go to all the away games. They give you the tickets with certain season ticket holders.
Mhm.
They bring a group up there. We've developed the Rise Up fan club, Rise Up Tour fan club. They come in and it's like this army of people come in. No other team does this. Do the Steelers do that? I don't think the Steelers need to do it. When they go on road, their fans are, they're everywhere. But the Falcons need to, because we're special. We have to.
Very special.
Yeah, we're special.
Yes.
We have to. But they come in and they're chanting. And I loved Minnesota. Minnesota was so special to me because my son goes up to the ship and jumps on it and says, we're going to beat you guys. We're going to take this ship and sail it back to Atlanta. And everybody just dies laughing. This little 9-year-old kid, redheaded kid sitting up there going, we've captured the ship and we're taking it back. And he was just hilarious. These moments are memorable. You get to see them all of America. That was pretty cool in Minnesota. Then when we left Minnesota, where did we go? Where was the next one that we went to?
Ooh, was it
No, I think it was San Francisco was a big one. I think it was New England. No, New England was a little later.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot remember where it was. It was one of the places we went. But we'll have to talk about the highlights. Obviously, that wasn't a big highlight for us. It wasn't a great city. But then let's go ahead and talk about San Francisco. San Francisco was amazing. We got to go to the amazing Fogo de Chao, which a lot of people know I love.
Yes.
One of the best Brazilian restaurants in the country. If you haven't been, they're in all major cities. My favorite happens to be in America. I can't say one because I don't want them to not serve us when we go into that area. But they're amazing. The best steaks, the best chicken. We took
pineapple. Don't forget the cinnamon pineapple.
Oh my God, the pineapple.
Oh my gosh,
so
the pineapple.
Great. We got to go there. We walked around the city of San Francisco, and then we went to the game. The stadium, we had the energy of the group. What was your highlight? The pictures, the fun, not the ending of the game, unfortunately. But what was your highlights of that trip?
You know what? For me, it's meeting the people. I have so many new friends that I call family. Of course, the Rise of Tour fan club, we always say where fans become family. But networking and meeting people, you can't replace that. I can replace money. I can replace things I might lose on these trips, buy more stuff, but the connections and the memories, you can't replace that.
You
You know that
absolutely
that's
can't.
you
Yeah.
know when I when
Yeah.
I when I can't go anymore, I can look back and say, man, I burnt the road up, but look at all the friends and family I've made. Because I miss it's cool now when I travel. I haven't missed a game in going. I have four more games to go to, and now will be my third year as Miss Perfect Attendance. Thank you, Thomas. They gave me the nickname Miss Perfect Attendance, but to go to all these games and people text me, hey, I know you're going to the game, so can I meet you? Can I meet you, sis? Or hey, where you going? What hotel you're staying at? Where you gonna be at? Because I used to travel by myself, so traveling by myself, and now I'm with the group where that has a whole admin team. Thomas, Shayla, Fred, security on our team, Big Rob, stuff like that. I mean, it's an actual organization. So when I travel, even if I don't go with all of them, I have someone I can connect to. And then in each state, there's someone I'm like, okay, I'm going to Tampa. Let me connect with so and so. Let me go on to even now Berlin. I finally got to meet my friend,
We're going to talk
my
about
brother.
Berlin.
My
We are
brother
going to talk about Berlin. Was amazing.
finally
That
got to
was,
meet one of my
yeah.
Facebook friends that we all these years, and we're like, oh my goodness, we get to meet each other in Berlin. Like it's cool because it's like
It really was. And it
you
was,
make family. You
well,
can't
with
change
so
that.
much tension in the world and so much arguing and stressing and people going at you, for a while there, when we brought all that kneeling stuff in and all the chaos, I just went, what are y'all doing? And some of the old players like Eric Dickerson, Warren Moon, they all were going, Joe, this is so unheard of in sports. We would have gotten fired back then, or we would have gotten benched back then doing this. You don't want to bring politics and bring chaos into this. This is where we all go to escape and get away. At that 4 hours, unless you're in Philly,
You better run.
those
Hide.
4 hours, I will say this, we're all family, we're all friends, we're all there, we're loving it, we're having a great time, unless you're in Philly. If you're in Philly, I'd rather go to the Middle East. I mean, it was crazy. I really would. That was so crazy going into Philly. But, let's talk a little bit New Orleans. New Orleans is a very special trip. Tell us about New Orleans and what you guys, did you go to New Orleans, Freddie? Were you able to go down there?
No, not
Have you
for
ever
the
been
game.
down there and seen New Orleans, what they do?
Oh, a few times. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I couldn't believe what they were doing. And it this year faced some challenges because of what happened at the Georgia game and the you never thought of people out there having fun and some nut job running a car through down there. But the Falcons do a parade 10 times what Georgia had during that game. Tell us a little bit about New Orleans.
That's what. Whether we win or lose, that's our Super Bowl. I'm just gonna tell you that. Everyone knows.
Did we win?
I don't know, did we?
Freddie had to do that. I had to do that.
Of course, that game. But the Razzle Tour fan club, Thomas and the team, Shayla, they put together another parade down Bourbon Street, and this is the second year, so I got to take part in it, and I'm just so thankful for a lot of those who stepped up, Joe, to help make it happen for all of us. That you can't replace that. That's an experience to get dressed up. I had my little tutu on. This year I was ready. I had my tutu on, my little mask, and just to come together and show unity. It didn't matter what age, what color, what background. It didn't matter, but we're all for one purpose, and it was
we're
the Atlanta
family.
Falcons.
I mean, we're family. Yeah, listen,
Yeah.
when you football, it doesn't matter what team you're on. And the funny thing, like having Freddie in here with this Pittsburgh jersey talking about Atlanta, I want to talk about one of the most, to me, it was the best road game we had this year, Germany.
Ooh.
I loved it. I'd never been to Germany before. We flew over there. All on the plane, it was people from all different parts. I think I picked the Colts plane flight out there because everybody, I had Edgar and James, a bunch of other Colts fans. It was all blue. Fortunately, I had a blue Master shirt on, so they didn't know that I was a Falcons. Hey, I didn't want to get thrown off the plane. I was a little worried about that. I mean, that guy's still got some oomph to him. But it was an amazing trip out there. We land in Germany. We went a few days early, and me and Carrie, we explored Germany. I had never been, and I'd heard some amazing. But what were some of the highlights that you saw in Germany some of the events centered around it. This is Falcons Road. I was shocked there's a Falcons bar there.
Yes.
Mhm.
So, well, shout out to Delta. So I flew Delta going to Berlin, and to say that Atlanta showed up, everyone when I was getting on the plane, they said, "Is there anyone left in Atlanta?" They said every plane was full of Atlanta fans. You know, they had a parade for some that ended up leaving. I left earlier before that, but they sent us off well. You know, it was beautiful. So we got off the plane, and I'm like, okay. My father was military, so I lived in Germany when I was younger. You know, when I was a kid, but to go as an adult is different. You know, I'm grown. I can have some fun. So we get there, and the people already, they're just, well, me, I'm already in everything red from head to toe. I want you to know I came from Atlanta. So you're going to know when I go out of town, I like to wear all red. So I stand out. But it was from the first step off the plane, getting into the Uber or the Lyft that they have there, to getting into the hotel. Everyone was just so friendly. They had all type of events. When I say events, the Rise Up Tour Fan, they had stuff. 30 Birds Nest had stuff. Any organization that went over to Berlin had something going on. Atlanta, they had a event for like to come see a couple of the players, retired players, the cheerleaders. Freddie Falcon was there. They had a pep rally. They had the football experience that I got to do. That was in Berlin in front of the.
That was pretty cool, seeing all the different ones.
Yes.
But did you not notice what I noticed? That the stadium was beautiful, by the way. I couldn't believe we were standing in so much history.
Yes.
Where Hitler stood, the Jesse Owens,
Yes.
I walked down the aisle, and I didn't realize this. This kind of freaked me out a little bit. They do something we don't do in America. We were walking down the alley. Me and Carrie were walking down there, and guys were just facing the bushes. They were peeing in the bushes.
Yes.
And all you could smell is urine. I'm walking down, seeing all these beautiful monuments where Jesse Owens ran in with the torch, and I'm going, oh my God, I'm about to gag. It smells like urine here. I couldn't believe that. I'm like,
Yes.
you can't do that in America.
Yeah,
But the history in that stadium, the bell, the stadium, just sitting there thinking about who all was in there and looking at that field, thinking about Jesse Owens walking on it going, I'm American. That's what Spell did. I noticed people in different jerseys. It was not just Falcons.
Yes.
And I saw some Steelers fans in there. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, hey, buddy, you're at the wrong game. You're at the wrong place. We don't like you. We even saw Saints. We saw, everybody,
Vikings.
all the game, the Vikings. Did you not notice that over there and how diverse it was? It was like a chance to see everything.
I was sitting on the front row, so behind me there were all type of fans. And when they had talked about the history and everybody had their flags and waving, I was almost in tears. I was like,
It was
"Oh!"
amazing.
I said, "Please don't cry," because I'm right in the front. But yes, it was every team that you can think of, and we're all united just to witness history.
Showing them America is in the house.
Yes.
And then the other thing,
72,000.
did you notice they, even in London a few years ago, they have amazing candy stands. The best candy stands. They're like a sugar, like those sweet places, those stores that have all the gummies and all the things. I went crazy on the candy. And I'm like, damn, these Europeans love sweets. They love candies. It was unbelievable.
You know what I tried? So I'm not a beer drinker, but I'm like, I'm in Berlin. I'm gonna go to a beer spot, and I had got a glass of beer. So I said, I get some lemons. I'm gonna treat like a Corona. She said, lemons for what? I said, for my beer. She said, you don't put lemons in beer.
They're so different. They're so different. But it was an amazing, fun time. You know, as we're hitting a Christmas, we want to tell all the families, it's so exciting to be here and see the game here in Tampa. And we know we got a lot of families, and Christmas is just coming up next week. So we're going to see a great time. When this show airs, we're going to be in Phoenix. We're going to be watching the Falcons take on the Cardinals. And I think that's the battle for last place. So we're going to be seeing that. But and Phoenix is a great city. I'm looking forward to that.
I went there 2 years ago.
What are some of the things that you want to tell people as the season ends? Just kind of remind them as we're entering Christmas and the season's ends, family, football. Let's talk a little.
You know what? I would like to say, just be thankful that you're breathing. Be thankful that you woke up. I always say I'm on the right side of the dirt, meaning, hey, it could be worse. Yes, we're going through things, but with the season coming up, for the football family, we have different teams, but it's a time to come together. It's how my father and I bonded. That's why I love the Falcons, because of my father.
Yeah.
But just celebrate the moment, exist in the moment now, because we can't even say what's going to happen down the line next month, next year. So I say just celebrate the moment now with your loved ones. Establish those relationships, because you can replace money, but you can't replace time and memories.
So many, like Thanksgiving Day, when you see the football, it's a part. And like you said, you really hit it on the nerve. Your father shared it with you. You're sharing it with others. I share it with my son. And y'all get to come in together, you and Freddie, to the games. It's a way to an adventure. Although I will say this, I found this out about Freddie. It was just disclosed to me. He's got layers on that shirt. One's Pittsburgh, one's this team, one's that team. I heard he was a Falcons fan, but he's one of those fair weather fans, so he changes his shirt as quick as he can. This is Freddie's. I heard this about you, Freddie. Is this true? Who's in what shirt? What game are you going to go to this week? Well, I got to see what shirt I got. And then which shirt are you going to wear? Which team's in first place?
Well, actually, I heard it from Snoop Dogg. Snoop said, wherever I'm at, that's I'm gonna be kind to that city. I'm gonna wear whatever they have on. So I try to be nice to
We're in
Falcons.
Tampa. We're in Tampa, not Pittsburgh. Yeah, we're in not Tampa. No, but that's the funny thing about it. You got so many people that come with different. I think there are a lot of Pittsburgh fans here. I know there were, because when they come in and play Jacksonville, it's a sold out. When they came into Atlanta, it's one of the most popular games. The only more popular one is the Ravens, when they come in, because they're the greatest team in football when it comes to Pittsburgh, and if they were the only two teams. No, I'm joking. I can't stand the Ravens. I don't want that on air here. But, we want to thank you guys for coming in. Very exciting. We're going to look forward to the finish of the season. Merry Christmas to everybody. Next week, you get to sit down with your families. You get to sit down with your loved ones and watch some of this great football. We got great college football.
I went.
Yeah.
Alabama, Georgia.
Koreena went to Alabama, Georgia. She's also, I got to say this too, as we wrap up, she doesn't just do sports, football sports. She's at the Hawks games. She
Atlanta
is now
United.
becoming the staple. Atlanta United. And we just talked about women's soccer coming to Atlanta now. I don't know why they're allowing women in men's sports. Women need to stay home and not play soccer.
Everyone, I'll get them when it goes off.
She will.
I got them.
She will. They're talking about men and women's sports, but let's keep the women out of our men's sports. I don't want to see a woman playing soccer or football.
Joe, you're going to get in trouble.
I know I'm going to get in trouble now.
You are.
But, we just to enjoy the time together and see it. Now, what about FIFA coming in? Are you going to be involved and excited about that?
You know what? I'm open to it. Hey,
this is supposed to be bigger than our football.
I know. So, hey, while I'm in Atlanta, why not?
It's going to be amazing.
Why not? Look, make another memory.
Why not? And seeing all the people you met in Germany coming in as their German team comes in.
Yeah.
Guys, I want to thank you for joining us. And I want to remind everyone, have a Merry Christmas. Live, work, shop, play, America. Let's all come together. This is our time to celebrate being united. It's our time to enjoy our sports. It's a time to enjoy our families and our loved ones. Make those memories. So one day, those children are talking about what we did with them to their kids. What a special moment that you shared there. Thank you for joining us today. Have a great weekend. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. And go Falcons.